On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Ethan solves puzzles in a tower and Shannon dances the night away. We talk about all the latest news and answer all your questions in our listener feedback section. Howdy, everyone. Welcome to Procedurally Generated. I am your host, Ethan. Tony is out this week. He's out this episode for reasons that he was here till like 5 minutes ago, and then he got sick.
He's not feeling too hot.
He came down with a case of the plague. He'll be back next week. But good thing Shannon is still here to help me with the show.
Yeah, we can
We
make a thing happen.
we haven't had to do a show together since the previous show.
Yeah,
Or
but yeah.
yeah. And the good news is I'm recording both audios, or at least I hope I am. Let's check.
I very much hope you're recording both of them because I have been the victim of solo podcast before, and it does not make me feel very good. But
If people hadn't demanded that I put the episode up, it would have stayed in the archives.
it's okay.
Anyway, so yeah, since Tony's out, it's just the two of us. So I guess we can just go right into what you've been playing this week, Shannon.
Sure. So there's this awesome Persona dancing bundle that comes out on Tuesday. So I guess as of this show going live on the internet,
Unless
Persona
unless you're
dancing
one of the oh geez, what is it? The
Patreons.
Patreons. Thank you.
One of our lovely, generous. Thank you so much, Patreons.
Yes, I don't know what word I was caught on, but yes, Patreons, where you get the episode a day early.
Yeah. So the Persona Dancing Endless Night Collection is a game that we were sent for review from our lovely friends over at Atlas. This is the collection of Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight, Persona 4 Dancing All Night, and Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight, all for the PS4, all in one beautiful digital bundle. And I have had this for about a month, and I have been dancing the night away, as you said. It is pretty amazing. If you've ever played Persona 4 Dancing All Night, it was originally a PlayStation Vita exclusive title.
Yes, it was.
In this particular bundle, or if you buy the retail bundle of both Persona 3 and 4, you get the Persona 4 Dancing All Night. They basically ported it up to the PS4. It looks like they did a little more work than just a port, though, because the visuals look like they carried. I don't have anything to help me figure out, if it is it playing in 1080 or
Okay.
is it play like I don't have anything that'll help me figure out what it is, but it looks very good, and it plays just as well as if I'd have been playing Persona 4 Dancing All Night on the Vita.
See, I'm probably going to be more likely to play this now since it's going to be PS4. That way I'm not suffering through playing on the Vita or the Vita TV.
So here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
I love my Vita.
Me too.
I think that these games absolutely shine on the Vita. And though it is wonderful to have them on the television, I was a little bummed out that that I was playing them on the TV. I found it surprisingly exhausting to my eyes, because the way these rhythm games, for those I guess I should lay it out. This is a rhythm game, following the Persona series, these three Persona games, where the protagonist, as well as all of the all of the cohorts from each game have been drug into a scenario where dancing is the only thing that's going to save the day.
It's a dance
Um,
off for the world.
Dance off for the world, dance off for the velvet room attendant, dance off for the prison warden. You know what? It's dance off. And all of the amazing music from these games, each respectively, have been either edited down into smaller versions of their big, long 8 or so minute tracks down to
Oh
a
gosh.
concise 3 to 4 or 5 minute track, so it can work with work in the setting of playing just a quick rhythm game.
Man,
Or
remember
they've
Guitar
been
Hero 2 with that 10-minute song?
yeah,
Oh man.
these have all been either edited down or remixed to something in some situations unrecognizable, and in some situations 100 times better than what the original song was. So I've been incredibly overjoyed because I also went out and picked up the bundle pack that came out in Japan for this, that came with the soundtracks.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, I when we were sent this code, I imported the Vita version from Japan because we're unfortunately not getting the retail copy of the Vita version in the US. We're getting it digitally, but we're not getting like an actual Vita cartridge. Dang it.
I know.
Um, but the bundle of these games in Japan came with the soundtrack, and the soundtracks are amazing. Do you have any questions? Sorry. Let me finish what I was saying earlier.
Hmm.
So I find it exhausting with the way that this rhythm game works on a television for my eyes, because it. If you've ever played Super Beat Sonic, you have notes that are flying from the center of the screen to the perimeter of the screen,
Oh
and I
yeah.
find it exhausting for my eyes to dart all around the television as I'm trying to time these button presses. Like it, I had to distance myself way more from my television than I would have been for playing almost any other game. There are some there are in this particular game. There are a lot of button prompts that will have you jumping from the complete left side of the screen to the complete right side of the screen within a fraction of a second, which is something that other television specific rhythm games don't typically do. So like when you're playing Project Diva, usually
They're
the
kind.
notes follow a
They.
line. So like you
Yeah, they kind of guide
gradually
you around
move.
the screen a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the case with this. Sometimes they will move, from top to bottom on one side of the screen, or they'll move in a rotational direction around the screen. But more often than not, you're jumping back and forth from one side of the screen to the other, and like if you don't set yourself up for success by moving your moving your face away from the television, be prepared for your eyes to hurt and get a headache. So, just a hot tip.
I'm wondering if they do that so that way they know you're seeing stuff around the screen as well. Because
I
like whenever Paul Rappa the rapper and
mhm.
Jammer Lammy playing those, you have your stuff scrolling across either I think it was either the top or the bottom. I forget which, but I always felt that's the only thing I focused on, so I never actually saw what was going on in the animation stuff on the screen.
Mhm. I think I think it does help a whole lot because the visuals that are going on in the background with the characters dancing works so well. Like you do get to see you get to see them dancing. Just the way that the user interface is set up, um, with the notes flowing outwards from the center of the screen, you're constantly darting back to the middle of the screen to see not just what note is coming next, but you're also seeing that dancing. You're seeing what's happening in the background. So it's very cool.
Good.
Do you have any questions?
How awkward is it dancing on his grave?
I don't want to talk about that. Gosh,
It had to be said.
like I don't want to ruin something for uh
The game's been out for. We're talking Persona 3 spoilers, by the way.
yeah. Okay, so hot tip. If you haven't played Persona 3 or if you care any at all about knowing what happens, tune out for the next, I don't know, 15, 30 seconds.
45 seconds just to be on the safe side.
Okay,
Starting
45.
now.
Okay, so the main protagonist in Persona 3, he's kind of dead at the end of the game. Yeah, this setup, the setup for Persona 3 dancing in Moonlight, it's happening at a non-specific time in the storyline, the same way that Persona Q happened. So it's just one night, everybody's dreaming, everybody wakes up in the Velvet Room. There you go.
Okay, that was actually 30 seconds, so we have 15 seconds to talk about whatever.
Well, I got
Three,
I.
two. Okay, we're done.
All right. So yeah. So the Persona 3. Let me just jump game by game. Persona 4 Dancing in Moon or in Dancing All Night. Persona 4 Dancing All Night is the only one of these three that has a genuine storyline, even though it's kind of a throwaway story. It's the only one of the three that had something significant and meaty for you to go through,
Oh god.
even though it was kind of filler.
I just remembered what the plot for 4 was, and then you said
Yeah,
meaty.
yeah. Anyway, um, so so that exists, and playing through that storyline is how you unlock more and more songs, and unlock different effects, and you get money, so you can go to the shop and unlock outfits and accessories and stuff for all of your dancers. It's it's actually kind of a good way of setting up the world and understanding how the dancing works in the. I can't remember if they were in the TV room. They weren't in the Velvet Room in that game. They're in like the TV world, the
Oh,
Shadow World. But anyway, um, it does a good job of kind of establishing the idea of the dancing uh, world and defeating shadows with dancing. Um, Persona 3 and 5 dancing do not have a story mode at all. They actually have social interactions that are used kind of as filler. So like the way you unlock songs is you just go to dance mode, you play 4 songs, you play a boss track, you unlock 4 more songs, you play those 4 songs, you play a boss track, you unlock 4 more songs, rinse and repeat.
I can probably guess why they wanted to do it that way.
Okay, let me hear you guess. I'm kind of
Okay,
curious.
alright. Do you remember playing 4?
Yeah.
Friendship.
Okay, you have a
There.
valid point.
Yeah.
Very valid point. Okay. The social interactions are basically the same kind of thing you would get when you. So imagine Persona 5, if you've played Persona 5 and you go to do your social interactions with people in Persona 5. You get like this little 3 to 5 minute conversation where you may have a couple of bits of dialogue that the protagonist gets to chirp in with that will either earn you skill points or not. In the dancing games, it's the same thing. You'll have this little social interaction that is fully voiced, both in Persona 3 and Persona 5. They get all of the voice actors back. Um, you get some sort of interaction from the protagonist, though it doesn't mean anything because it's not like you can earn skill points in this game. Um, those social interactions are unlocked through accomplishing specific things. So, like, you may have to wear X number of accessories across all of the different songs. So, like, try on 9 different accessories, try on 15 different accessories, try on 25 different accessories.
Ugh.
And each one of those will unlock, each one of those check marks or checkpoints will unlock a new social interaction with a specific character. Or you might have accumulate 25 perfect notes, accumulate 200 perfect notes, accumulate 500 perfect notes. Those will unlock a specific social interaction at each check mark. That's the kind of stuff that makes those social interactions unlock. As you unlock them, though, when you go through them, then you get your accessory items because there's not a shop. You're not earning currency in 3 and 5 like you were in 4. So the accessories and the they're like little challenge modes. So like you can make the game slightly harder by changing the speed
Mm.
of the notes flying in. You can
Does it
change,
still have the invisible notes?
yes, but it's all stuff that you have to unlock. Like you
Okay.
go through these social interactions and you unlock all of those little extra features, all of those accessories and outfits and glasses and headphones and all this other stuff. You unlock it all by unlocking the social interactions. So it all really boils down to the more of the rhythm game that you play, the more of the social interactions that you unlock, the more of the extra stuff that you unlock. It works in a really good cycle. I never really felt myself getting burned out like I would in Persona. I remember playing Persona 4 Dancing on the Vita and getting burned out. Like, I really want to play more songs or I really want to unlock more stuff, but I really don't want to go through this story anymore. So, like,
Too much friendship.
it was just, it was just so much. And once you realize that it just didn't mean anything in the end and it wasn't going to add anything significant to how you understood the characters, it was just like, anyway.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. There's a PSVR mode in 3 and 5.
Oh.
Yeah. One of the things that you can unlock after completing those social interactions is you can unlock room exploration. So in Persona 3, as you unlock everybody's social interaction, the final thing that you get for each character is the ability to explore their dorm room.
I
And
don't know if I want to do that.
it's really cool. So you don't need PSVR to do it. If you don't have PSVR to do it, it basically controls like a first-person shooter. You just kind of move your character around, and
But it's better with the
it's
VR, right?
100 times better with the VR because it
Nice.
adds this insane sense of scale to these rooms that you've spent countless hours in, either having those social interactions or just sitting there listening to some awesome music while you save your game or jump on an MMO on in Persona 3. So it's really cool, really really cool because it adds more depth, it adds a cool sense of scale. They've also hidden things in the rooms. So like you can find these little cards hidden around the room, and there's a specific amount, and those cards unlock more accessories and more stuff in the game. So it's it all loops back in on itself. The same as in Persona 5. Like you'll explore the different. You can explore like the attic of Cafe LeBlanc. You can like that kind of stuff. It's really cool.
I was about to say, I don't recall seeing the other people's rooms in 5,
No,
other than
um,
Futaba's. And that
I the
that would just
only
be a mess.
the only one that I've unlocked in Persona 5 is the attic. So I don't really know specifically what the others are going to. It would be interesting to see if Futaba's room is in there, but
Get the
I'm not sure yet.
like mess around with the little Power Ranger statues. That'd be great.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I really enjoy these, and I will be spending more and more hours playing through them. Something really cool about 3 and 5 is they have cross save with the Vita version. So if you're going to double dip and buy on the Vita and the PS4, you can at least carry your save data back and forth.
I did notice you didn't mention 4.
No, because all they did was port it. And
And
they may have done some graphical upgrades to make it look better. They did not add cross save to the PS4 version.
and correct me if I'm wrong, but that also means you don't get access to any of the DLC music that you bought for the Vita version of 4.
So I actually confirmed this with our Atlas contact. They are regarding every one of these 6 games. So Persona 3, 4, and 5 dancing, Persona on the Vita, and Persona 3, 4, and 5 dancing on the PS4 are all separate games as far as Atlas is concerned when it comes to DLC. So if you buy DLC for Persona 4 on the Vita, you have to buy it again on the PS4. And the same goes for all the other games, as far as I know currently. As of the time of recording this, the DLC for all of the new games, including Persona 4 Dancing All Night on the PS4, none of that stuff is active on the PlayStation Network shop yet. So I have no way of 100% confirming what is and is not transferable or accessible from alternate versions. But according to our Atlas contact, that stuff is going to have to be double purchased. It really sucks.
Yeah, that's kind of a letdown.
It's kind of on par for Atlas, though. Really. I mean, if you think of everything else they've done with Persona DLC, or I think of how much I love Radiant Historia and how upset I am over what was done with the DLC. Like all of the stuff that made perfect chronology, they hid all of that stuff behind a paywall, and it made me so upset because most of it was on the cartridge. It was just an unlock code that was downloaded. Anyway, I don't want to go on to a tangent. I just want to say buyer beware. The DLC is probably going to be a hot mess.
Yep.
That's pretty much all I got. I'm really enjoying it. The full written review, as of this podcast going live, the full written review is live on the site. Definitely check it out. If you've played any of the Persona games, go into it, enjoy them. They are so much fun. The shining gem out of this collection is Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight, mostly because of the upgrade that these characters and the environments have gotten. Because all of the Persona 3 characters are now fully rendered in 3D with this nice HD art style that is very similar to Persona 5, like all of the characters in Persona 5. And not only that, they've re-rendered and remastered all of the locations from Persona 3.
Oh,
So
man.
you'll see Yukari dancing in front of the fountain at Paolita Mall, or you'll see Junpei dancing with his baseball bat on the rooftop of Tartarus. It's amazing, and it all looks so good, and all it has me wanting is a remaster of Persona 3 Fez. So,
Man, Persona 3 is great.
it is, and it's it's the one game. So I finished Persona 4, I finished Persona 5, I have not finished Persona 3. I need to go back and finish Persona 3.
Persona 3, and then there's the after story called the answer. And then if you're playing the PSP version, it's slightly different because there's no after story, but there's an alternate story, so you can play through as the female protagonist instead.
I want to play these games. I need to.
And all I really need to do is go through as the female protagonist, and I've done it all. So did you dance to anything else other than mass destruction?
Oh yeah. Dun 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 dun.
So anything else on this?
Not unless you want me to start reading some of the track list. I mean, that's about all I got left. These games are good.
As for the track list, is it all there?
Um, what do you mean by is it all there? Like,
I have no idea. I just wanted to say something that sounded kind of cool.
okay. I will say that Persona 3 has the deepest reaching track list out of all of the games
Nice.
because Persona 3 they pull songs from the original Persona 3. They pull like Burn My Dread got a remix, which was
Oh,
the
nice.
opening track for Persona 3 Fez. What was the track from Persona 3 Portable? I can't remember the title of it, but it's in there. They cut it and remix it. And there's songs from Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth. Like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I mean, and it's got the best soundtrack out of these games. So,
I look forward to when my copy ships.
so what have you been playing this week? What are
I
you
do
up
have
to?
one more question.
Oh, okay.
Does does she show up?
Spoiler.
Dang it. Okay, so I played and reviewed a little game that I'm probably not going to say the name of it correctly. Nairi? Narai?
Not Nairai?
Nairi. Nairi or something. I don't know. Nairi Tower of Shirin. Shirin? Yeah. See, now I'm second guessing the other thing I could say. Great. Anyway, I played the Switch version of this game. Oh, and review is live on the site right now.
Yay!
This is a point and click adventure game by double checking real quick. Give me a moment. Home Bear Studio, yeah, which is I think like a two-man development team or something. And this was a Kickstarter game, I believe. But it, like I said, it's a point and click adventure game. Really simple controls. You can do the whole thing with one hand
Mm-hmm.
and or one Joy-Con, I guess you could say, because all it needs is the joystick and three buttons. So that's pretty cool. Uh, if you're unfamiliar with point and click adventures, think something similar to Myst or Monkey Island, something like that.
Those
But
are point and click adventures.
unlike Myst, this game is actually very playable.
Okay.
I've never got past like an early puzzle in Myst. I'm really ashamed of that. It's about a girl named no, it's that name again, Nairi, whatever.
Okay.
Whatever her name is, it's about her, and she's from a rich part of the neighborhood, higher class. She's from the higher class neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff happens. Her parents are arrested. She has to flee before she is arrested. More stuff happens, and the escape doesn't go as planned. And now she's trying to break back into the city where she lived, and her parents are imprisoned. And you have to work your way up from the bottom back to the top.
Mm.
It's really adorable. It's got a very cute art style to it. Like if it was a storybook, it would be right at home with the art style. Um, hmm, the puzzles on there. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place on here. It's just I really didn't think this one through. It's just for discussing, I didn't think it through. As I'm pulling, I have my review pulled up in front of me though. Puzzles on there, they are really easy to solve for the most part. They do kind of ramp up as you progress in the story. And there was one puzzle that just I I despised that one puzzle. I'm not going to say what it is.
Did you have to put a hamster in a microwave?
That is never the solution to any puzzle. That is just for fun.
Okay.
and the results of that could lead to your character being murdered. Oh man, uh, that poor hamster. Story wise, it's really kind of generic. It's like, all right, here's our protagonist. She's getting help from people. She's making new friends, and then it just kind of progresses on from there. Uh, Shannon, you have any questions that could probably get me onto a proper line of thought for what to talk about on this?
I am sorry.
You're just
I mean,
fascinated by how all over the place I am on this, right?
no,
Am I? I'm a complete mess. I can tell.
it's okay. We're used to having Tony here to help
Guide.
lead us. Yeah, I mean the first thing I did go through your review. The first thing about this game that jumps out to me the most is how flippin' adorable it is. I don't
It is
I know
very
that's not
adorable,
helpful for
and some
starting
I didn't put.
conversation, but
There's some pictures I wanted to put on in the review that I just didn't because I just couldn't fit them in there for whatever reason. Be, they didn't fit in. We'll just go with that. But
mm-hmm.
she does this one little smile where her eyes are closed and her mouth has this little is smaller, but it's still a smile, and it's very adorable. The friends you make on the game or in the game, or that Narai makes in the game, they are anthrop anthrop anthro.
Anthropomorphic.
They're animals that are like people. So if you don't know what that means, it's like think of like the Disney movies like Robin Hood and other things where the animals are just walking around on hind legs and talking and wearing clothes and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So is this baby's first point and click adventure? Is that really
It kind
what
of
it boils
starts
down
out
to?
like that, but as it ramps up on that, like the last puzzles on there, it was just like I said. There's one like I just could not solve it, and I spent probably a good 2 hours on it before I asked Stuart to come help me, and then we spent another 30 to 40 minutes trying to figure it out, and then just something magically worked and it fell into place by pure coincidence while we were working on it. Like I said earlier, the controls it can be played with just one Joy-Con. You move your pointer around, select stuff, and then you have your confirm or cancel button. I think it's a confirm. No, one's confirm, one's cancel. The confirm is to investigate as well. And then if you have any trouble with the pointer being too fast, you hold down one of the shoulder buttons and it slows the pointer down, making it
Mm-hmm.
easier to select something as well. Which that I had to use that quite a bit because there was some things where you have just the littlest amount of space between something and you need to select between them. So that was handy. There, I don't know if it's been fixed yet, but the developer is aware there is a kind of a game breaking bug involved in the game, and it involves two pieces of two items that you find that you have to actually look at after you pick them up, and when you pick
Mm-hmm.
them up, it just there's no way to get out of the win. It's like pulling a picture up or a map or something and looking at it. There's no way to close it out afterwards, even though the X is right there to close it. So what I ended up doing was taking a screenshot with my phone, and then I would have to reference back and forth between the pictures and the game. But I believe you had to have both of these in order to solve. Both of them are required so you can solve the puzzle. I don't know if you needed them beforehand so that way your character in the game would have the knowledge to solve the puzzle that you're solving. If that makes any sense.
It, it it does.
So hopefully that gets patched in very soon, or the solution, or the I'm hoping the patch comes by and fixes that. The whole thing takes place in kind of a desert, Middle Eastern desert kind of place, kind of similar to Aladdin. More Disney references. All right, and it takes place around the Tower of Shirin, as in the name, which is kind of the center focus of the fictional oasis city called Shirin. And the tower it's always under construction, being worked on, and they have the lower class people working on it constantly, so that way those people can make their money and still live. And while you're in that area, you can actually go into a slightly upper district, we'll call it, and there's like noticeable differences between the areas. One goes from this, you go from like brown and stonework, or brown, you go from a lot of dirt and brown stuff to there's water here, a fountain, rooftops, and some other colors appear now.
Mm-hmm.
And then the people there in the upper districts, they just look at you and like, you're from the poor district, get out of here, shoo, and based on how you look with your clothes. But anyway, yeah, the review is live on the site, so if you want to look at that and read through there and see what I had to say about the game, do that. Um, if you are interested in the game, it is about a 4 to 5 hour game and should cost about $10 on the eShop. And any questions, Shannon?
Nope, I think you pretty much covered it. Baby's first adventure game with a hard difficulty curve at the end, super cutesy, affordable, nice, nice short, fun game. Looks good.
Yeah, that sums it all up right there. So with that said, we're going to take a quick break and we'll come back with the news.
Oh yeah! Baby, baby!
Okay, so first piece of news is Nintendo is ending the Creators Program.
This is the thing with, like, they would allow you to monetize Nintendo content,
Yes,
but they take a cut or something.
yeah, they would. You had a certain you had an agreement with Nintendo, so that way you could have your stuff on YouTube or whatever, so you could make your money off of your Let's Plays of their video games, essentially.
Okay.
And
Did they give an explanation as to why it's ending? Because it seems like it was a good deal for them.
well, of course, I mean, they're gonna take the chance to make money any chance they get, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, along with some pretty strict guideline, blah blah blah. Well, one, they were really strict, so I'm sure they had people complaining 24/7. Can't receive.
Well, I mean,
Anyway,
it kind
if
of
you
is
didn't,
their content, so they have every right to say, make whatever rules they want, especially if they're going to let you make money off of it.
very
But
true. So yeah, if you didn't join the Creators Club, you cannot receive any money from YouTube videos you posted using Nintendo's licenses. Nintendo would claim any of the revenue for themselves through ads and whatever that are shown while doing that.
mm-hmm.
And there were two tiers. Let's see. If you joined but still posted videos from other platforms, Nintendo would take 40% of the money you earned after YouTube took their cut. If you agreed only to ever post videos from Nintendo properties, they would only take 30%. Well, that's a scumbag move to begin with. Just make another channel, monetize your crap on there, and then throw Nintendo stuff on the other one. Be like, I might throw something there. Okay, beginning in 2019, so here in less than a month. No, beginning here in 2019, so sometime in 2019, not less than a month. Ignore what I said earlier. Ethan, edit that out. Beginning in 2019, in its place are a set of new guidelines that make it easier for people to use Nintendo games on YouTube, though there are still some restrictions. One new part of the guideline reads, "We encourage you to create videos that include your creative input and commentary. Videos and images that contain mere copies of Nintendo game content without creative input or commentary are not permitted. You may, however, post gameplay videos and screenshots using Nintendo system features, such as the capture button on the Nintendo Switch, without additional input or commentary."
Hmm.
Huh. So if I held up a box that said Nintendo Switch, that's not permitted unless if I'm not talking about it or something. Is
Uh,
that what it's saying? But
that's
if
what
I
it
hold up
sounds
the
like.
but if I hold up the controller and say, or if I hold up the controller and hit a button, that's perfect. Nintendo doesn't get it.
They never really have.
I don't think they understand how the internet is. I think they think the internet just makes money for them somehow. They just don't know how to harness it. So
I think if they never really bothered with the
competitors.
yeah, I just it bugs me a lot that they bothered with having to make a like a program for people. I mean, they could have just gone to YouTube and said, "Hey, anything with our content, we're taking this particular cut." I don't know why they had to strong arm.
Actually, they were doing that. There was like monetizing any video that used any of their content.
So then
The hundred
why even
percent,
have
they were
this to
taking
be?
100% of the cut at that point on those videos. This is to allow people the guidelines were to allow people to make a cut off of Nintendo stuff as well, instead of Nintendo taking it all for themselves.
Mm,
It was their attempt at a compromise.
that's kind of skeezy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel so great about it now because like I, there are so many other companies that um, that allow people to use their content and they look at it as, hey, this is free advertising.
Yeah.
But why in the world would they have to look at it as a sense of profit?
I don't know. I get disappointed thinking I could probably put a run of me playing Super Mario on YouTube, and Nintendo would say, "No, we're not allowing you to make money on that." And it's like the game's what 20 years old at this point or something. It's like they can still make a little bit of money off of digital sales on it, but I mean seriously, everyone's already if no one's played the game at this point, it means they've either just been born or they've been out of the loop for 30 plus years. Uh, Koei Tecmo opened up a teaser site recently, and they are teasing a new Switch game.
Really?
Yes, it's going to reveal
Okay.
some details on December 6th. So that's going to be on the day this. Nope, nope, nope. That's going to be on Thursday, same day as the Game
Hmm.
Awards. So, anyway, right now it just has a message that reads, "The flight of destiny begins." Or, "The fight of destiny begins." I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Fight of destiny. Fight of destiny. What fighting games does Koei Tecmo make?
Gosh, it is bad that I don't remember that off the top of my head.
I'm looking this up. Did they? Oh, they. Mates up. Okay, they made that game. This game. Dead or Alive. That's what it was.
Okay.
But I don't think this would be. This won't be DOA 6, will it?
Uh,
I mean, announcing it for the Switch is kind of weird because they've already announced it for PS4 and all that, right?
I don't know.
Are they even on 6? Was 5 the last one?
Yes,
Okay.
Persona, or well, I'm
Persona.
thinking Persona. Um, Dead or Alive 5 last round.
Which was like the third version of the fifth game.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah.
So, yeah, look forward to whatever that might be. Maybe place your bets on what it could be in the Facebook group or something. And we'll have a discussion about that probably. Let's see. Next thing says Epic delaying Fortnite account mergers. This merger feature was supposed to launch this month, but has been delayed until 2019 due to some ongoing technical concerns. We will be delaying the account merge feature until early next year, said the Fortnite team in an update. We want to make sure this process is thoroughly tested and working properly before releasing it to those of you currently looking to transfer products from other accounts to your primary account. We'll be sure to update you as soon as we get closer to the release of the feature, which will include a web page on launch to help guide you through the flow. So if you're playing on one system and you've had a main account or another account on some other system, and you're wanting to get the cool stuff you've had from there, well, this is going to let you merge all that into wherever you primarily play, I guess. Which is something I could really use on Warframe, like just a generalized account that works on all platforms that it's on. Shannon, you play a lot of Fortnite, don't you?
No. I play no Fortnite, never have played Fortnite, don't know quite what a Fortnite is. Sorry.
I hear
Isn't that
it's.
what all the kids are doing these days?
I just know it's like a bunch of dancing.
It's that game that doesn't cost anything yet makes all the money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's nothing but dancing, which I mean, that's like Destiny. It's nothing but dancing. Except Destiny
Don't
costs
talk to me
money.
about dancing in games. Like if you want to talk about a real dancing game, go back on the Persona train.
Oh snap! All right, let's go ahead and move on to listener feedback. Our first one is from Mike via Facebook. Is anyone else excited for Ark on the Switch? I know I am. Can't wait to play it tonight.
I am terribly sorry, Mike, but I have no interest in Ark. I am an old man.
I've seen the PC version of Ark. It looks amazing. I've seen, I think, Xbox One footage of Ark, and it looks really good. I didn't.
Ark is one of those games that just keeps going even when you're not playing it, right?
It's Minecraft, but with dinosaurs and better graphics and aliens or something.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm
Like if you're still in the server, then and that's a live server, then yeah, it keeps going without you. But
okay. Like I had somebody trying to get me into play. It may not have been Ark. I thought it was Ark on Xbox One.
Ark
They were trying to
Survival
get me to,
Evolved,
huh?
Ark Survival Evolved.
I think so. I'm pretty sure it was Ark. But when they were describing it as being a thing that you had to basically team up with other people to keep things going, even when you weren't there, like having groups of people that schedule times to do specific things in order to progress the game for said group of people
Sounds like an
that,
MMO.
yeah, like it's, I don't know, maybe I'm way wrong. I may not know what Ark is. I I'm sorry, Mike. I'm not doing the game that you seem to be excited for justice. I am terribly sorry.
Mike, I am not excited for it after seeing footage of it on Switch in a side by side video with the mobile version at that as well. I was not impressed at all, other than other than being impressed that the game could actually run. So I'm just gonna leave it there. I already own it on PC, and I've never played it still, even though I have it on PC thanks to Steam and friends on that play it on PC. But if it does look good, let me know. If it plays alright, let me know. You know how to reach me. Our next one comes from Nathan via Facebook. Overrated game you've played. Most overrated movie you've watched. I don't recall a game I thought was really overrated myself. I did watch Baby Driver recently as I heard it was really good and a friend recommended it, and well, I thought it was flatly average across most boards, and I don't really see why it was praised as it was.
Hmm. I really liked Baby Driver. I may have been the friend who suggested that to you.
I haven't seen it yet. I want to.
Oh, I thought you were saying that
No,
you,
I
Ethan.
was reading
Okay,
all of
that was
Nate.
still part of his question.
Yes,
Okay, my bad. My bad.
I didn't want to leave it out because it was a good example.
Yeah, I genuinely like Baby Driver. As far as most overrated game I've played, you know what? I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'm gonna create a lot of enemies. I know it's gonna happen. I think Smash Brothers is probably the most overrated game I've played. I enjoy Smash Brothers. Don't
Hmm.
get me wrong. I like the game. However, I think the way that people flock to it and build it up to be the most amazing, incredible accomplishment that comes out of Nintendo, I think that's so terribly false. I think it is the most amazing party game. I will give it that. I think that it, regardless of what iteration of Smash we're talking about, I know a lot of people hold Melee as the quintessential game of all video games, but I don't know. Like I think Smash, in my life at least, has a place and a time, and that place and time is not every day and not all the time. So
Well
yeah,
said. Very well said. I agree with everything you said.
okay. I'm
It,
glad I'm
it,
not alone on that. I was worried that
well, it's
like
like
I'm
I've tried to play each Smash game as they've come out,
mm,
and uh, the most recent one before Ultimate comes out,
mhm.
I
Smash
just I
Four.
didn't even bother playing it very much. Like I got the game. All right, well now what? It's like, well, I don't have anyone to play with. I don't, and the Wii U doesn't do online very well.
Yeah, I played a ton of Brawl in the early days of Nintendo Oki because it was a thing we did after recording the podcast every night. Like we would get done with the podcast at recording the podcast at around 10:30, and we
Wow,
would stay up until, yeah, I know it's hard to believe it.
we're lucky if we start at 11.
At one point in time, the "What are you buying" segment didn't exist. At one point in time, we all discussed one game and what's in your Wii. At one point in time, the news segment may have only been one or two articles or topics. Yeah, it's crazy,
That is
but
insane.
I can recall many a Saturday nights into Sunday mornings, staying up until 2 or 3 in the morning, playing Smash with Micah and Shelby and Tony. So I hold those memories very near and dear to my heart, and I genuinely hope that something close to that happens with the Switch version, because the Wii U, it was never going to happen. It I have a lot of very fond memories of playing Smash for Wii U with friends locally, and playing it at conventions, and it is a great game for big groups of people, especially considering 8-player Smash. I mean, I don't have a very big house. My home is approximately 900 to 1,000 square feet, and our living room is fairly clustered together, like fairly small. When you huddle 8 people around a television in our living room, and we're all screaming at the top of our lungs at each other while we're all trying to get one person who's playing as Ike and just dominating. Yeah, that is where Smash lives and where Smash belongs. So I'm looking forward to that. I really am. That's I will try very hard over the coming months to get friends from church over for game nights just to play it, and I look forward to getting online and playing with people. Um, as far as an overrated movie, I I'm going to blame Shelby for what's about to come out of my
Oh
mouth.
no.
I hold a lot of Miyazaki movies very near and dear to my heart,
Okay.
because I genuinely enjoy a lot of them. However, the one Miyazaki movie that I tried for a very long time to get Shelby to watch these movies, and the most recent trip I had to Oklahoma, I got him to sit down and watch Howl's Moving Castle, because it was the one that he had the most interest in watching.
That's a good one.
He did a very good job at pointing out to me
Oh no.
that that movie makes no sense. They have no way of explaining the love connection between the girl and Hal.
Mm-hmm.
They do a terrible job of giving a good, resolute ending. That movie is just a good way for Miyazaki to show off some pretty flowers and some nice mountains and
In a
some
moving castle.
and a moving castle. I mean, that's all it is. I For the longest I thought, and I'm noticing this as I'm going back through and watching a lot of these Studio Ghibli movies. Nothing really happens in these movies. They're just really pretty pieces of artwork. And maybe for the longest time I've been a sucker and thought, these were amazing movies. You know what? I also thought that I thought something very similar about The Nightmare Before Christmas for a very long time. I thought, this is an excellent movie. I enjoy this a lot. But then I sit down and I watch it as an adult, and I'm like, you know what? Why did I like this so much as a kid? Why does everybody think this is so good? It's not really that great.
It is
Yeah, I know the
overrated
songs for it.
garbage.
It's not that great.
I will. Anytime you say Nightmare Before Christmas is a bad or overrated movie, I will back you 100% on that.
Look, I'm a little nostalgic for it because it was a tradition in the house to sit down and watch it, like at some point between Halloween and Christmas. Like, it just happened every year. I remember our family owning it on VHS, and it was a thing that we did as a family. I know the songs by heart at this point, but it
Gosh.
falls in the same line as Howl's Moving Castle. It's very pretty. It's amazing that it exists, because for what they did, and I think it was late 80s, early 90s with stop motion. It's an amazing achievement, but it's not a very good story. It doesn't really hold together very well.
No.
they kind of come to a resolution that doesn't really make any sense how they came to the resolution. They don't do a very good job at establishing the world or establishing some of the characters' backstory. I just like, yeah. You know what? This is depressing. Can we move on? Do we have any more questions?
I mean, I have my answers as well, were
Oh, okay.
which are
Sorry.
sort of different.
Okay, go for it. I'm sorry. I kind of
No,
stole
no,
the.
it's perfectly fine. Oh, wow.
Okay, most overrated game you've played, Ethan.
I'm gonna say Halo 5,
Okay.
but I'm actually I wanted to say Halo 5. I'm gonna change that to Halo 4. Was
I
it
have
4?
not played anything past Halo 3, so
I'm trying to think which one it was I was playing in college, and everyone was losing their minds over it. And it's like, yeah, I got a copy, but
when you were in college,
yeah, it was like my last year of college.
it was most likely Halo 3.
3? Really?
If I had to take a
360?
guess, knowing your age, most likely Halo 3.
It probably would have been 3 on the 360 then.
Yes.
I don't remember what happened in 4.
I
Good times.
vaguely remember Halo 1, 2, and 3.
Anyway, everyone was just going nuts, getting ready for that game to come out in the dorms, and it's just like, guys, come on. It's like, yeah, I'm ready for it too. I got it pre-ordered, and I have that stupid Master Chief helmet thing on my behind me on the left.
The helmet that's not even a helmet?
Yeah, it's just it holds your game in there, and I got a pair of 3D glasses sitting on there, so it looks like he's wearing them. But it it's like, yeah, I played it. Big deal. It's Halo.
Mm-hmm.
Fight Flood and Covenant. The formula doesn't really change that much.
I think the thing that, and I'm not arguing, I mean, this is your opinion. What I am going to say is I think the thing that makes the Halo 3 stand out the most amongst the ones that I've played was the map creator and doing really, really, really dumb stuff with it, like creating a soccer game or creating weird labyrinthian mazes and making games that weren't just go kill everyone. It was the first. I mean, it was the first game that I ever played.
Yeah, it had the Forge. That's what it was called.
Yeah, the Forge. Yeah, it was the first game that ever really just kind of opened it up and said, "Here's all of the assets. Make what you want with it."
I just grabbed Halo 4 off the shelf to see what year it came out. 2012. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that definitely was not college. So
Yeah.
yeah, it would have had to been 3.
Okay.
Or was it?
What's
Or was
most
it?
overrated movie for you?
Overrated movies. That's kind of a tough one, really. Hmm. That is a very
Yeah.
tough one for me to answer.
Uh,
It's like I
I
look at my shelf and it's just blaring anime at me right now. And my movies are covered up with other crap, so I can't see those movies.
the more that we discuss this, I have thought of others. There are people who hold that some of the Tarantino films in very high esteem, and I think he's only done a few that are really good.
I will agree to that. Although I do enjoy like various parts of all of each of his movies because it's just dumb fun or dumb humor here and there. It's just
Yeah.
something that's enjoyable at times. Like Kill Bill Volume 2, whenever it's doing the flashback to the master, and she does she whips her head back and forth real quick, and they put the swish sound in for her hair because it's in a ponytail. That cracked me up because why not? I really can't think of a good movie to say that's over. I think is overrated, so I'm just gonna go with Stealth.
Okay.
Alright, so I guess that's all we have to talk about this week. We will see you guys again in 7 days. Shannon, any final words?
Hamburgers are delicious.
Hamburgers are, in fact, delicious.
Yeah.
If you want to reach out to us, we have tons of new ways to do so. You can email us at podcast@procgent.com. That's PROCGENT.com. You can send us a voicemail if you want by clicking on the voicemail link on the right side of the website. You can send us voicemails up to 90 seconds in length, and we'll play those on future episodes of the show and respond to the questions that you have. If you like what we do here, you can now support us on Patreon, patreon.com/pgint. Patreon supporters will get a video version of the podcast a day early. These will normally go out on Tuesdays. Patreon supporters will get them on Monday. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel that we've got and see the content we've got going on up there. And then we still do have the Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.